Well, today I have very exciting news for you. You ready for this? Today you are going to learn a very obscure, little-known fact about me, Father Bob. You ready for this? Are you excited? Are you excited? There was a time in my life that I was a certified arborist. Thrilling, yes? You're going to sleep better tonight. I know this, right? So my family, especially my brother, would make all kinds of fun about me. He's like, what's the big deal about this? Like, so if you go by a tree and see this on it, what do you know about the tree? See, you can all be certified arborists, right? What's so thrilling about this? If you go by a tree and you see this on it or on the ground, what do you know about it? It's pretty disgusting, isn't it? That's what happens when you keep a banana in a bag. And if you go by a tree and see something that's orange, what do you know about the tree? You don't seem too excited about this. So if you see this, what do you know? You know this? You see this? The scriptures, the first reading in the gospel, make it very clear. You know the tree by the fruit. Now let's be honest. Let's be honest. If that's all it took, you could all be certified arborists, yes or yes? But it gets much harder when you have to dig a little bit more deeply, when you have to do it only based on the leaf or only on the bark. If it was just this simple, all of us would be certified arborists, yes or yes? But it becomes more complicated when you dig deeper. And this week, especially over the next couple days, I'm going to challenge all of us, myself included, to dig more deeply. The first reading, and especially the gospel today, make it clear that you know the tree by the fruit. In other words, actions speak louder than, and here's the hard part. Fruit, actions do not lie. An apple tree gets you. A banana tree gets you. An orange tree gets you. Actions do not lie. And if you know anything about the 12 steps of AA, the fourth step is what they call a complete and thorough moral inventory. And when you take that complete and moral inventory, it's not just a wax philosophic like, oh, I did bad things. It's very much all about looking at the actions, the fruit, just so that you can know, like you can specifically see in the actions what was going on inside of you. And as we get ready for Ash Wednesday, I'm going to challenge all of us to do a complete and moral inventory. Why? Because that will help us really reflect deeply on what we need to work on in the Lenten days. For example, you can sit here all day and tell me that you love God, yes? Point to the actions for yourself and show where God is a priority, where you reveal in actions, in fruit, the depth of God's love. You can sit here all day and tell me you love your spouse. Point to the actions that reveal how much you love your spouse. You can sit here all day and say, I love my family. Point to the actions that reveal where you show the depth of your love for your family. You can sit here all day and say, I am kind and thoughtful and generous. Point to the actions where you reveal that you are kind, thoughtful, and generous. Why? Because you know the tree by the actions speak louder than, and we can all debate this, but actions do not lie. You can say, honey, I love you, honey, I love you, honey, I love you. Show yourself where that love is. Show them in action where your forgiveness is. Show God in action. Literally point, God, this is the action that reveals how important you are in my life. Or even one very timely for this week. We can sit here all day and say, we want peace in our world, yes? Point to the actions that reveal what you are doing to build that more peaceful world. Did you hear about what Pope Francis did this week? you hear about Pope Francis this week? Sue did, right? You have to understand how exceptional this is. So there's one thing to be the president of a country, yes? It's another thing to be Pope. You're over the whole thing, yes or yes? This is what he did the other day. So typically people come to see the Pope, yes? He got in his car. And he drove to the Russian embassy that serves the Vatican. That's an exceptional, never been done in the history of the whole church ever. Why? Because actions speak louder than, and actions do not lie. In that moment, one, he was acting on behalf of a more peaceful world. And two, what that should communicate to all of us is how serious all the things we're seeing in our world right now, how serious they really are. Why? Because over 2,000 years, has a pope ever gotten in a car and driven to an embassy? Answer? No. Actions speak louder than actions do not lie. And we can debate that all day long. You can sit here and say, oh my God, I love you, I love you, I love you. This week, where do you see the actions of your commitment, of your love, of your faithfulness to God? You can say, oh my gosh, my spouse, I love you, I love you, I love you. Point to the actions where you reveal that love. You can say, I love my parents, I love my parents, I love my parents. Point to the actions that reveal the depth of that love. Why? You know the tree by the fruit. And if it was simple, just apple, orange, banana, all of us could pass the test. But in these days ahead, dig deeper. Dig deeper. Look at the actions. And honestly, for yourself, decide what you and God need to work on in these Lenten days. We can say we want a more peaceful world, right? Point to the actions that show that you are consciously building that more peaceful world. Why? Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with